What is up, everybody, and welcome to another exclusive interview. My name is Scott Mitchell, and today I am joined by one of my personal favorite up and coming wrestlers on the scene today, on the independent scene today, I should say. He's a 99 overall for great reason, because all you got to do is see a match of his, two matches of his, see promos of his. There's nothing he can't do. But please welcome my guest today, Myles Hawkins. How are you doing today, Myles?
I'm doing well, and after an introduction like that, I don't know how we're gonna follow it. It's gonna be a great interview, but that introduction by far amazing.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate that.
Of course.
I do mean everything I say though, because it's like, seeing you. I know I was telling you, like, the first time I think I ever saw you live was against Ichiban at Rebel Spirit,
Hmm.
and after that, like, I went down the rabbit hole of like IWTV, thank God, which has like a lot of great matches, and I will always plug IWTV because a lot of your matches are on there, a lot of other people's matches are on there. Great streaming platform. But I went and I saw a lot of your matches back, and I was like, this guy can go in the ring. Like, this guy, it was phenomenal, phenomenal match, phenomenal talent, and it's a pleasure to work with you.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be here. That match with Ichi, I think it's still one of my favorites. We were actually talking about it. We did the ECWA Super 8, and that was one of the submissions. And he came up and said, "Hey, man, thanks for sending it because I sent the same one." So
That's awesome. It's you guys have had your paths cross a couple times, I will say. I think at the ECW 8 for sure, at the Rebel Spirit, obviously. I want to say another place in New England I remember seeing you guys vaguely at. Um,
we might have been in the same locker room, but
maybe
I think the first match we were in was the MCW Shamrock Cup. We didn't
okay.
actually interact in the match because it's a survival of the fittest style 6-man match. But that was the first technically match we had together.
Yeah. And so, in order to like kind of tell your story, I want to go back to the beginning, and that is first and foremost, when and why did you first become a fan of professional wrestling growing up?
So for me, professional wrestling was my escape. If I take it all the way back, I started playing baseball when I could basically stand up. So from 3 until my senior year in college, it was baseball. And for the majority of the college season, you're playing or training 11 months out of the year. You go up until about November and then you stop. And then for that month, I didn't want to see a baseball. I didn't want to look at a baseball. I didn't want to think about it. So my escape was watching wrestling. So as a kid, I always loved wrestling. And it was something that I would watch as I wish I could do that. Those guys are massive. I can't. I'm gonna play baseball. After my senior year, as it was kind of winding to the end, towards the spring, around Mania season, I was getting fed up with baseball. I was like, I don't love it anymore. But this was 2019, so Kofi Mania was running wild, brother. And watching that on the bus, coming back from a tournament, coming back from a series, we had just played. We had probably about a 6-hour drive, and I had WrestleMania on my iPad. And seeing that, I was like, you know what? When I finish baseball, I want to try it. While I'm athletic, I want to give it a shot. Luckily, I live in Maryland, which is probably 45 minutes to MCW. And at the time, this is when you had Leo Rush, you had Velveteen Dream as the NXT North American champion, you had Soldiers of Savagery, SOS, Khan, and Moses in Ring of Honor. They had all just gotten there. So when I saw that, I was like, that's the perfect place to go. Everyone's coming out, everyone's a champion. I'm going to follow right in line. And from there, signed up probably a month after finishing baseball. And the rest, as they say, is history.
And when you first like really found wrestling, did you have any favorites or any inspirations who helped to mold you into the person that we see before us today, whether it be character wise, wrestling ability wise, or just someone you just thought was the coolest person in the world?
So I like wearing my references on my sleeve. Uh, Many people might not see them, but if I tell you, they're evident. My favorites were always growing up. It was Shelton Benjamin, Jeff Hardy, of course, Kofi. He's my man. But a lot of that was these guys are athletes. They can really move. Then once I found independent wrestling, everything blew up. Tetsuya Naito is a huge inspiration of mine. If you see the side and the feathers coming down my gear, it's Naito inspired. So those were the guys who are like, this is just Naito is one of the coolest wrestlers I saw at the time. And then mixing that in with the athleticism, the movement, a few high flying spots, but really the grace which with these guys move.
For sure. And I mean, something I find really interesting is like, so if for anyone watching this who isn't really keeping up with the current events in the wrestling landscape, unfortunately, we saw a lot of releases from WWE and a lot of people not re-signing with WWE recently. And, TKO, I'm not here to say like, screw TKO or anything like that. I'm not getting into that. But I mean, I don't love how things are going over there. I hope everyone has an amazing outcoming leaving WWE and like coming out wherever they might go. The whole point of bringing that up is because we have never been closer to a potential Myles Hawkins versus Kofi Kingston match. I mean, and if MCW has a chance, you got to wonder, is this like a dream match of yours to still have and still like kind of be a part of?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I'd be lying if I said, oh no, I don't want to wrestle Kofi Kingston or Xavier Woods or any of those guys. I mean, at a certain point, I was fortunate enough to get extra work and be able to talk to Kofi, and being able to understand that he is the same person that I saw. I was like, okay, this is more of what wrestling's supposed to be. You see this person, you understand that I respect you as a wrestler, but I also respect you as a person. Now
Definitely.
that we're in the same place and you are not contractually obligated not to wrestle me, let's get a match.
Honestly, I would love to see that match. That's a dream match for me. Now that you've spoken into existence, since I got to see that one. And obviously, I'm sure they're all going to kill it wherever they go. New Day, especially, I'm sure we're going to see them pop up somewhere very soon because they're such special talents. So it's a bummer to see everything happen the way it did. But new opportunities, and that opportunity could land right in your front doorstep. And a potential match with Kofi, or Xavier, or anybody else, which would be phenomenal.
We could do a few. Kofi, Xavier, triple threat. Yeah, we'll tag match. We'll figure it out. Selfishly, I'm like, I know you're gonna be okay. I know that you made the right decision, and I respect the decision. But now I want to wrestle you. Now that I have the opportunity, I want to make this happen.
That's a dream match, man. I cannot wait to see that happen. And I'm sure it's going to happen too, because I'm sure we're going to see them pop up. We just saw Joe Gacy get announced for Blitzkrieg Pro today, which shameless plug there. I love what Blitzkrieg Pro is doing. I hope to see you there one day in Connecticut or Mass.
That'd be fun. That'd be a bunch of fun.
Oh, yeah. So I also wanted to talk about, in the past, when and why did you really decide that this was the path you wanted to head down in your life and kind of become a professional wrestler as opposed to like a 9-to-5 type of job?
I just hate desks. Everything about desks, tables in general. Wrestlers, we hate tables. So the idea of sitting still for 8-9 hours just didn't sit right with me. So being able to move, and it started off as I want to move. I don't want to sit at a desk. I want to get out and be active. Then I started having matches. And after turning babyface in MCW, when the fans and kids started coming up, and these kids are screaming because they're meeting me, it's like, I can't replicate that feeling. There isn't a desk job that, they might scream at you, but they're not screaming because they're happy to see you, type of thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
And, when you did, first start making your way into training and making your way up the ranks and now becoming one of the best, I want to say, around today, 100%. Did you have any mentors who really took you under their wing and showed you the ropes and helped to mold you like into the person we see before us?
So wrestling is pretty weird because a lot of my mentors just really beat the hell out of me. Like my first match was a dog collar match, and it's, hey kid, we think you're good. We're gonna throw you directly into the fire. There's 1,000 people out here excited because the pandemic's over. You're in a dog collar match, sink or swim. I got to wrestle Leo Rush multiple times, and Leo Rush taught me so much in the ring that just within the span of 10 and 20 minutes, I don't think I could have learned in a month. I got to wrestle Rich Swann, who was another guy who we were in the middle of a match and I'm trying to move at a new guy's speed, and he's telling me in the hold, hey, do this, listen here. And just being able to bounce ideas off these guys and work with them. I mean, those are 3, 4, 5 matches that I will always go back to. If I'm teaching something now to somebody who's brand new, I'm taking what they told me and saying, hey, do this. This is what this guy said. And it's because he is so good at what he does. He can teach it in the ring. I might need 15, 20 minutes of standing here lecturing you, but those are the guys that really kind of laid it out for me.
For sure. And, you know, looking at you and when I watch you wrestle and when I watch you talk on the mic, you really are the total package. And I mean that with utmost respect because in the ring, you're phenomenal. On the microphone, you can talk circles around anybody you're talking with. But what really went into that, like owning those skills for you, and how much like hard work did you really put in to get to the point that you are at today?
Oh man, tons. It had to start with baseball because baseball I was, hardest worker. I had to earn it. Wrestling, I started about 5-6 months before the pandemic, so I was able to get the basic training in, but then everything shut down. And in Maryland, we weren't allowed to reopen for another year and a half, maybe. So I just had nothing but time to refine the basics, time to kind of think of new moves, time to really get in the gym and work out. And I think that time off and just locking in and saying, I'm going to be the best I can. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it 100%. That really is what I think helped grow and figure out who I was. On the flip side, we weren't allowed to have shows. So character-wise, I'm only thinking, how can I perfect the moves? So I think my character and mic work was actually pushed back a little bit because we weren't talking to anybody. We would talk on Zoom, but it's a different feeling when you're standing there and there are 1,000 people listening to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to talk to this one person, forgetting that there's 800 behind me. So that one took a little bit of a longer time to kind of develop and flesh out.
And you know what? You're absolutely killing it. And I do just want to say, like, the work you put in, we obviously see in the ring because, it kind of goes along with your 99 overall persona, which is one of my personal favorites because it's like a gaming persona. And I love playing video games as a kid. So it kind of reminds me of like that 99 overall video game character that's like, unbeatable.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with that? And for anyone watching this who might not be new to like finding out about who you are, what exactly does that 99 overall mean to you?
So if we're staying strictly in the wrestling realm, 99 overall is Mr. Perfect. He's just a bit more athletic about it. So it started because when I was training, I would pick things up so fast. If you show it to me, I can do it. The people I'm training with were upset. They're like, we hate it. We have to practice this 7, 8, 9 times before we even get close to it. You see it, you do it, and you can teach us how to do it. So I ran with that. I started off as the golden child of MCW. That was where I wanted to go, the golden boy. That ended up switching to 99 overall because of the video game reference. It's how do I tell you I'm perfect right off the jump? There were so many other golden boys in wrestling. no one was in this other lane. So I jumped in, ran as far as I can with it. But yeah, no, it's just what pisses people off, what gets you upset. Am I too perfect? Maybe.
It's just awesome because whenever we see you like come down to the ring in your entrance, you look like that 99 overall character. Like you have that sweet vest, which I love the entrance attire, by the way, because it kind of reminds me of like the Cody Rhodes vest he used to wear that I was a big fan of back in like 2011 or so. It kind of reminds me of like that in a way. So when you went into like kind of figuring out what was this going to look like, did that vest and did that gear kind of come naturally to you and figuring out, all right, now like what would like a 99 overall like look like in a way?
So yeah, I mean, first I had to take what do I like, and then how do I make it 99 overall? How do I make it look perfect? When I come through the curtain, how do I look like a superstar? And I'm kind of mad that you said the Cody Rhodes thing because that's one of the inspirations in the jacket. It's Cody Rhodes, Tanahashi, and Will Ospreay all rolled up into one. But the gear going down is Naito on the side. So there are a few references kind of thrown in there. And I'll switch it up from time to time. I'll add different things with color schemes and just things that mean something to me. Things that I like, things that I see like, oh, I like that a lot. But when it circles back around, does it fit what the perfect wrestler would look like?
That's a good point. That's a good point. But it definitely does look great. Like it definitely does look great. You killed it with putting that together. And I do see a lot of Naito and Ospreay as well as Rhodes in that. So it's interesting you say that because that is awesome. I love how you put that together because not to like downplay on the indies and stuff like that, but there's a lot of people who just like kind of come out with like the stereotypical basic, like you could tell they don't really put time into their gear sometimes. Yeah. And I know it's not easy. I'm not like knocking them for that, but it means something when you see someone who comes out looking like a star compared to somebody who comes out wearing like a typical like black like trunks or black singlet with like no logo even on it. And it's like, and I know it's not easy, but it does mean something for sure.
I mean, we're selling stars. You come to the show, you want to see stars. I don't want to see a guy in a cutoff t-shirt and kick pads trying to pretend to wrestle.
It's true. and you know, let's jump right into it. I want to jump right into the meat of this interview. Okay. Now that we got your backstory out of the way and, you know, sharing people who you are, this Saturday at CZW at Wrestivus, you will be going one-on-one with WWE ID prospect and former WWE ID champion, Cappuccino Jones. What is your mindset heading into this one?
Honestly, I feel like this is a big proving match for Cappuccino. A few weeks ago, I pinned the WWE Evolve champion Aaron Rourke. So he's got to show out. I mean, I know what I'm bringing into this match. It's his time to shine. We met a few years ago. We were doing extra work in Philadelphia, and we were like, hey, one day we're going to have this match. And of course, he got ID'd and he went through that path. So I'm excited to see what he has and finally get in the ring with him.
And I have to ask you too, does the fact that he is WWE ID prospect town add any flair to you for this one and like making you want to be like, all right, I beat Aaron Rourke, who's the ID champion and the Evolve champion right now. And you're like, I'm going to like, does that add anything for you against Cappuccino?
I don't think so. Yeah, no. I faced world champions in the past, so an ID champion. I mean, that's cool. I got an ID. I can go to the bar.
That match is going to be phenomenal. I cannot wait to see you and Cappuccino lock up and create magic in there because that's going to be. I think that might be a show sealer of the weekend. Truthfully, I think Cappuccino is. Yeah, Cappuccino is severely underrated too in his own right.
Okay.
So it's going to be a good one. I'm sure you're going to come out with the win now, as you said. But I also would like to ask you too, what does it mean for you to be a part of one of these fun weekends like Wrestivus? Because it's kind of like that collective type of feel in a way. Not WrestleMania week, of course, but
Mhm.
does that add anything extra for you, whether it be pressure or excitement, and knowing like, hey, you have two shows and there's going to be a lot of eyes on this weekend as well?
Oh, they're always fun. It's Wrestling is inherently competitive, but it's different than baseball. Baseball, you're trying to beat the other team. Wrestling, you want to outperform everybody. And having a weekend like this where we're bringing the best talent we can to one spot and then go, okay, somebody steal the show. That's a challenge in and of itself. I want this whole weekend to come back to, oh my God, did you see what Myles Hawkins did? And the talking point coming out of this not being it was a great weekend. Of course, I want it to be a great weekend. It's going to be a phenomenal weekend. But I want it to be, did you see what Myles Hawkins did? And I think we're going to do that.
I think so too. That's going to be a phenomenal match. I cannot wait for that match. That's gonna be great. Be sure to check it out on IWTV. That's gonna be a good one.
Tune in, watch me beat Cappuccino. I like cold brew personally, but that's how he wants it.
And the last time we saw you at CZW was back in March when you picked up a win over Casey Owens, and it was a dominant win at that because I saw all the videos on your Instagram and the funny songs you had in the background, like just decimating him, this poor guy. But what was it like to work with him and put on such a show in the process?
It was fun. It was really fun. I mean, obviously CZW, I'm trying to raise the standard a little bit. CZW is one of the places that helped me get some exposure, kind of get out there. I went over and I headlined one of their shows for 16 Carat weekend. That was super fun. But I look around the locker room and I see guys that I want stars. The same thing I was saying about the gear, the same thing I was saying about the working out. I want people, when you see them, you see stars. So I'm glad that match was as good as it was. But that's one where I want to say, hey, locker room, look, this is what stars look like. This is what stars do.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up too, following his match at CZW Backlight, I believe was the name of the show. You had some words for Jimmy Lloyd where you told him, quote unquote, if you expect me to come out here and risk my career for a match with you, you're dumber than you look. Where did this come from, and why all of a sudden are you targeting Jimmy Lloyd?
I don't understand Jimmy Lloyd. Like at the end of the day, when I come through the curtain, I look like a superstar. I move like a superstar. I'm damn near perfect. But then Jimmy Lloyd comes out and he looks like he got off his shift at Burger King. And we expect him to be an ass kicker. It's like, no. If it's a hot dog eating contest, I got you 100%. But anything athletic, I expect you to gas out in the first 30 seconds. So if I'm trying to raise the level of this show, I'm trying to say, hey, we're doing actual wrestling and we want to be taken seriously. Why do I want you on my show? That's where it stems from. It's quality control. And the internet loves them for some reason. Like, why? Is it because they understand where it's like to roll 4 or 5 times to get out of bed? Is that what it is? I don't get it. I don't understand. But there we go. So when he gets in shape, we will have his match. But until then, until he's in ring shape, get off my show.
I love that. I really hope we get to see you guys kill it soon when he is ready.
Yes. Yes.
I do want to see you guys crush it. I want to see you kick his ass, and I want to see you continue to show the world exactly why CZW is the promotion to watch.
That's the goal.
And I also want to ask you too, what are your hopes for the future at CZW, whether it be yours or the promotions, and are there any titles or people there that you do have your eyes on?
Well, hopes are very weird for CZW because first I want to bring it back. really anywhere that I am, I want to elevate that promotion. If I'm on your show, I want your show to be the best it possibly can be. And I think having a roster that shows that, you look up and down the roster and you see nothing but stars and nothing but credible wrestlers, that says a lot. And I want to have that on every show I go to. I want to face the best. I want to be on the show with the best. I want to go out in the main event and have every match beforehand say, you have to work harder. That's what I strive for. I'd be remiss to say, if I find myself in a match with Aaron Ash for the CZW World Heavyweight Championship, that'd be interesting. That'd be fun. There are definitely titles. I am not shy to take a title. I like gold. Gold's fun for me. But those are things that you want your champion to have credibility when he walks into the building. It starts with your show. If your show has credibility, your champion will also have credibility.
That'd be a great match, and I think you should be CZW champ before all is said and done in 2026, or even before that. Like right now, that would be a good one. So you're going to be pulling a Rick Rude also. You will be not just at CZW that day, but you will also be at Rebel Spirit Pro.
Yes.
For the upcoming Fan Appreciation Night, which I'll be honest with you, I don't know half the matches on that show because I only saw 2 announced so far. So I don't know if your match is announced yet or if it's made known yet. But what is your mindset heading into this one?
So heading into this one, Rebel Spirit was really my introduction into Massachusetts. It's a place that I hold dear because they took a chance on me. They said, hey, we like what you have. We want to bring you up into a brand new market where people might not know you. And they've allowed me to grow and really work on and hone a lot of the things there. And going back to the fans of Rebel Spirit accepted me almost immediately. And that's one of the things where it's like, hey, I know we're having this show and it's for the fans. I have to be there. You guys trusted me and you cheered for me and understood everything that I was giving to you. I have to give back.
That's good. It looks like a great show, first of all, but I don't know what's going to happen with you on that show. I know you're going to be there. I can't wait. Is there anybody you do have your eyes on there, though, that as you're heading into May 16th?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Maybe not May 16th, but June 13th, I will be challenging for the Rebel Spirit Heavyweight Championship. Spencer Slade and I, we're going to run it back one more time. I should have beaten Spencer multiple times, but through underhanded tactics, he slid out of the ring. We're not going to talk about that. That's the person I have my eyes on. Because after the year that I've been building at Rebel Spirit, I don't think it's wrong to say that really I'm just one win away. And with that win being over Spencer, I mean, incredible champion right there. You have to pin a champ to be a champ.
For sure. And, I'd also be remiss if I didn't bring up your time at MCW, which we spoke a little bit about in the beginning of this interview. You are a former MCW Rage television champion. What did it, and not just once, but I believe it was twice, but what did it mean for you to hold that title and be a part of that locker room still to this day?
That title, it started with Miami Mike. He won it before I did. And the matches he was having, I was like, that is the Workhorse Championship. At a certain point, the Heavyweight Championship has more prestige. But like the Intercontinental, the Workhorse Championship was always the mid-card title. And once I won it, I wanted to take pride in the fact that the Rage TV Championship, when that match was announced, it was the best match on the show. So for, I believe, almost a year straight, I always went out there with the mindset of I'm going to steal the show. This is going to be the best match. I don't care who I'm in the ring with. It is the best match on the show. When the fans started picking up on that, when they started seeing, oh, we want to see this as the Rage title match because we know it's going to be a really good match. I had so much pride that after losing the title, I had to tell I think it was like the next 3 champions after me, hey, we have worked really hard to establish this as the title in MCW. We know the heavyweight championship is there, and we know that that is the top spot. But if you hold this, it says you are the best wrestler. And if you are not living up to that, then you gotta let it go.
Oh yeah. And it's funny you spoke about some of the matches that you had in that, because 2 of those matches, one was against Lio Rush, one was against Jordan Oliver. For anyone who's living under a rug right now, or under a rock, I should say, and not knowing what Lio Rush is doing, or Jordan Oliver for that matter. But Lio Rush has his whole black card gimmick, which is probably one of my favorite in all of wrestling. But what was it like to work with these 2 just outstanding, incredible talents and just continued to show out in your reigns?
Oh, those guys are incredible. I mean, it's an honor to share the ring with them any chance you get. For those 2 matches, they were also learning opportunities. It was rare that I get to wrestle that style. So going in there with those guys, I think the first time I wrestled there, I was like, I just want to listen to you. You've been everywhere. You've done everything. The second time, probably my favorite, not the sham after that anniversary. We went in there. We both had the same mindset, and we were on the same page. That was so much fun. Wrestling Jordan, that was a test in itself. Jordan's plan was crazy. I'm like, bro, you're gonna gas me out. But throughout the match, the way that he faces it, his moves, everything he does is just so well done. You have no choice but to step your game up.
Honestly, the matches you had were fantastic with that title. And even after that title, the stuff you're doing at MCW, just simply fantastic. What are your hopes for the future of MCW and yourself at MCW as well?
Well, I do have a track record of beating Miami Mike. He's only beaten me once, and that was by a fluke. So I believe I'm 10-1 against the current MCW heavyweight champion. The last time I wrestled an MCW heavyweight champion, I won. So I think it's time. I think the next time I step in the ring with Mike for that title, odds are on my side, big guy. You got to step your game up. So I see that as being one of the goals. That'll be a fun one. See if he's learned anything in the past couple years.
That's going to be a great one. Miami Mike is killing it. I'm familiar with him from post game, but I also love his work as a singles competitor. He's one of the best around today, truthfully.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah. But you're better, so you're going to probably end up taking that title from him. So
Mike is really, really good when he has Vinny with him. He's good singles, but I think post game, I'd have to find a really good partner. They work very well together. But I like beating Mike. That's one of my favorite things to do.
And shameless little segue into one of my final questions for you before we get to the end of the interview, and that is that Miami Mike Walker, Vinny Tolado, 2 incredible talents. Post game, for those who don't know, a fantastic tag team, the Focus Pro tag team champs
with Hellfire McGuire,
with Hellfire. Cannot forget about Hellfire. Or, at GCW recently, you got to team up with Postgame, and you were undefeated at GCW when you guys defeated Judy Underwood, Ryan O'Neal, and BK Westbrook. What was this moment like for you, and what was this match like for you to compete on GCW, which is arguably the biggest indie around today?
I mean, it's a blast. Especially, I've crossed paths with Junie so many times. I've crossed paths with Ryan a few times. And we've always gone, one day we're going to wrestle. To not only share the ring with Postgame, who I like, we've been MCW, CZW, all over together. And to finally say, hey, I'm going to tag with you guys, that was a blast. But being in there with Junie and Ryan, also a blast. I've seen BK's stuff, and I'm like, hey, I'm a fan of yours. I want to wrestle. First time meeting him, first time wrestling him, I'd wrestle all 5 of those guys again. But to do it at GCW and to have that spotlight, man, so much fun.
And looking ahead for you specifically, and out of any promotion, not just tied down to one, what are your future goals that you have for yourself?
Oh, I think in this day and age, if you're a wrestler and you don't say some television company, I mean, there's so many opportunities out there. WWE, AEW, TNA, MLW, NWA. Take your pick. I think obviously TV is the next step, whether it's WWE, AEW, TNA, all 3. They could all be possibilities, but that's definitely the next step.
And you know what? I can't wait to see you get to that level because you are already crushing it. You're going to crush it at the television level too. And I give you a lot of credit because you're doing outstanding work right now.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I appreciate that. And just one more question for you. Do you have anyone you'd really like to share the ring with coming up, or any dream opponents that you haven't maybe had the chance to wrestle yet? Which I know it's hard because you wrestled so many amazing people.
Well, I used to have the line that everybody I want to share the ring with is signed. But following the releases, I have to say, Kofi and Woods. Those are my guys. I got to do it. I got to throw Kofi and Woods out there.
That would be amazing. I cannot wait to see that. MCW, make that happen. Or anywhere. It doesn't need to be MCW, anywhere. But MCW specifically would be fantastic too.
We'll do MCW first, and then if promotions like it, we'll branch out. We'll do it a few times. Do as many times as
more than a few times. That's the beautiful thing. I mean, it sucks seeing people like leave, or not leave, but like released or anything like that, like lose their dream job sometimes. But there's so much freedom out there. There's so much like amazing stuff on the independent scene that like I don't think the people, the fans are ready to see like what these guys can bring now that they're not really tied down to a promotion like WWE, where it's like you can only, I mean, we saw Zack Ryder talk about it multiple times. Like, you know, you can't always like wrestle as good as you can be sometimes because you can't outshine certain people, and there's a lot of politics and shit like that. Yeah. But just seeing them kill it on the indies, like it's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a fun time.
I'm excited to see just how creative those guys can go. I mean, you brought up Lio Rush and the Blackheart. It's crazy to imagine manager Lio Rush from Raw as the Blackheart now. Like, they're 2 completely different people. So I'm really excited to see what those guys come up with because they are both extremely creative.
Exactly. And, you know, I'm never one of those tribalistic weirdos online because, like, you know, people are just insane on those apps. But the thing is, like, something you have to admit is, like, just seeing them have that creative freedom and seeing them have that freedom to put together the character that they want. You know, I had the opportunity to work with Javi recently from NXT, and I'll be honest with you. I told him, like, I didn't know he had this side in him because he's been crushing it now all over the indies, and we didn't see that a ton on NXT. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he was used more as a comedy relief type of character as opposed to a serious character, and now we get to see that. Yeah. And it's a fun time on the indies. It really is. It's fun. That's why I love the indies, because you get to like reinvent yourself. You get to see people just reach their full potential.
Yeah. Yeah, and you get to see, it's very interesting seeing people from TV that have presented this same character for so many years come out as something completely different. And you go, whoa, this is brand new. What is this? And sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. But you see them going through the process. You see them really showing young wrestlers like, hey, we all do this. We all have to go out and experiment and find something new. Find what works, find what doesn't. It's fun. It's really fun.
For sure. And, my final question for you is there any final message you have to anybody watching this or reading this and how they can follow you, support you, buy your merch, or anything that you want to tell them?
One final message from Myles Hawkins. Follow me at the Myles Hawkins on everything. Reach out to me. Tell me I'm great. I like hearing it. This interview has been very good for stroking my ego. If you want to wear my merch with my pretty face on it, I have the 99 overall inspired Latino Heat shirt, which is out now. All the links are actually on my website or on my Instagram at the Myles Hawkins. Dropping it again just so you don't get lost.
And I will be sure to include everything down below in the description. So it really is only a click. So you don't really have any excuse not to follow this guy, because you don't need to go in and type it. And if you don't want to, you just click the thing. So, I mean, don't be lazy. Click it.
If you listen to me ramble for this long, you can click and listen to me ramble for a minute and a half next time.
Don't be like Jimmy Lloyd. Just click it and just be like.
Don't be like Jimmy Lloyd. Go to the gym. Eat salad. Take care of yourself.
Well, I do appreciate your time, Myles. This was a fun interview, and I really appreciate you taking the time out to do it, and sharing your story with me and with everybody else who's going to listen to it, read it, and see everything.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Pleasure's all mine.